Today's podcast will pick up where we left off last week. We started last week on talking a little bit about issues in your business from a CFO's perspective. So really talking a lot about getting a little bit more into the financial realm in your business, but going beyond that just a little bit as well. But there are companies out there, many of them of course have CFO type level people in their business. Some of them will hire a fractional CFO, somebody to come in and take a little bit of an outsider's perspective, which is for someone in my seat, that's what I do a lot more of. Of course, I don't work for someone else in regards to on a day-to-day basis as a corporate employee, but have the opportunity to be able to go into many other types of businesses and just kind of made a list of just some issues that I see off and on as I go through different types of businesses. Some of these I see in a lot of businesses, some of them a little bit less frequently. Today on the Belk Business Podcast, it is episode number 100, the 100th episode that we recorded. Not doing anything special on this particular episode, but I just want to express my appreciation to so many of you who expressed your support over the last, I guess now close to 3 years during this journey of recording these podcasts. On last week, we started through, I mentioned the first four, and these aren't at all in any sort of order of importance, but or in order of issues that I see, just kind of randomly had jotted these down. But last week we talked a little bit about lack of controls in a business. There can be a potential issue, mismatching of the accounting platform with the industry or with the required or desired deliverables that the business owner or the leadership team may have. Owners becoming loose with handling the equity in their company, and then lastly, not securing intellectual property. Today we'll pick up, and I'm not going to review. If you want to go back and listen, if you didn't hear that podcast, please, I encourage you to go back and listen to it. And today's podcast will pick up talking a little bit about record keeping primarily, and everything that we talk about today is for the most part going to kind of hinge around really making sure that those records are in place for us to be able to do some other things. I apologize if there's a little bit of ambient noise here. We've got some mowing going on outside, so if you hear that, sorry for the excess noise. But there are, I would say, so many times where we'll take on a client, especially those that may be a smaller business, and they really can't grow. They can't get to the point of scaling. They can't get to the point of making decisions because they have sloppy record keeping. And they just don't have a process in place or processes in place to be able to get the records together. Literally sitting behind my desk right now, we had someone who, actually two clients who came in with boxes of stuff and just dropped it there and said, hey, can you help us figure some things out? And they can never get out of their own way. It's the same, they come up with excuses every year on why they can't get things together, on why they're late, why they can't make decisions. And it's all because they have not instituted or put into place processes in order for them to be able to put the records together and to provide some sort of a deliverable that can help them make decisions. And sometimes people resort to spreadsheets. If you're a real small business, I guess that's okay. But if you're at all going to have a real functional business, you're going to have a good, solid process to be able to pull those records together, to be able to provide you the deliverables that you need in order to be able to make the decisions you need to make in your business. And not talking just about scaling, just basic operation type decisions. And in this day and age, I mean, there's plenty of technology out there that can help you. And then work through just scheduling the time if you're a solopreneur, where you may be sitting down and doing that yourself, or bringing somebody alongside of you that can help you maybe come in periodically and help you put your records together. Sloppy record keeping, if you don't have your financial records in place, you will not be as profitable as you can be because you simply don't have the information you need to be able to make the decisions you need to make inside of your business. Next, on a related note, that of fiscal management. So you kind of go through, you get your records together, and you're operating this business. There does have to be a process in regards to managing your finances. And this comes from the planning end. So many times, business owners will go into a business or they'll work to expand their business, and they'll try to do so without a plan. And of course, if you don't have a plan, you're in all probability not going to be able to succeed, or you won't even know what success looks like. So being able to plan, of course, the definition of fiscal management, just textbook definition here, planning, directing, and controlling your financial resources. And so are you planning? This is where the money's going to come from, and this is what I'm going to do with it once I receive it. And that getting to the point of directing it. Where am I going to place it? And we have, for example, clients that might utilize some sort of a profit first system or some sort of another type of a system that they may put into place to where they're taking their money and they're earmarking it into certain types of buckets. And as a business grows, they'll grow past that kind of that more simplistic method into more complex methods. But they spend the time to be able to plan and then purposefully and with purpose, with every dollar that comes in, know where that dollar is going to be deployed. Understanding this is what it's going to cost to run my business, and this is where I need to place money in order to be able to invest in another area or to be able to grow my business in this particular area, maybe to bring somebody in to help us and direct us. So directing the finances and then controlling the financial resources once you have them to make sure that the money indeed is going where you're wanting it to go. Fiscal management. Next, once again on a related note, and that's a revenue and profit projections. And do you have a good method of understanding this is how we go about making money? Our time I'm talking about money here is our top line dollars. What is driving those dollars? And understanding how we go about generating those dollars, and then also being able to have a good understanding of how we're going to be able to, how are we able to project those out. Of course, there's so many unknowns, especially in recent years, in the recent last couple years, in regards to trying to do revenue projections. But it really is something you need to spend some time on. So making sure that you have those revenue and profit projections. Next, knowing when to hire. And I actually, this past Sunday, a few days ago, I had a client text me and said, how do I know when to hire? How do I know, in this case here, they were wanting to bring somebody in to kind of help the actual business owner, the one that kind of really is kind of the face of the business, to be able to kind of just step back a little bit and operate more in her core genius. And the question came when to hire. This was one of the most difficult struggles I had in my business, and maybe probably for a lot of business owners too, knowing when to go about hiring. And when do I go and pull that trigger? And I heard different statistics. I'm in different rooms, masterminds. You say, well, once you're at 70 or 80% of your capacity that's the point that you need to bring somebody on. There may be some validity to that particular statistic, but I don't know if there's an exact science to know when to hire. But you really need to be able to have a process to be able to gather the information that you need. When you go through the process of deciding when to hire, and then beyond that, who to hire, first of all, and I think most importantly, you have to understand your why. And I'm not talking about the business why, but why are you wanting to hire someone? Is it just simply so you can go out and be on the golf course or to be on a boat and have somebody else run your business? That may be fine, that may work in theory, but in practicality, if that's why you're wanting to bring somebody on, you're going to have a real difficult time with getting somebody in the business and for that business to push forward. That you have to kind of look at your motives. Why are you going about hiring someone? And most of the time we go about hiring someone because we have a seat that we need to be filled, that needs to be filled. We're kind of at the point to where people are starting to feel overworked. Or maybe we have a new opportunity that comes into play, and of course a lot of different factors that come into play. And it isn't always just a dollars and cents decision. Many times if we kind of wait until we have the money to make that next hire, at the point that we finally figure out, well, we kind of have the money, it really kind of at that point it's a little bit too late. Then you find you don't have the capacity or the time to be able to invest in that person and develop them and train them properly. So know when your business, when to hire. And then lastly for today, knowing where to cut cost. Now, we're real big at our firm level here and developing pro formas for clients. We really enjoy sitting down and taking their data, their historical data, doing some projections, and then being able to kind of build out a visual for them, which we can walk through in order to help them make decisions. Tomorrow afternoon, we'll bring in one of our clients here locally, and we'll spend the afternoon with them doing exactly this. And so we really go through and we compile the data. And it kind of helps provide a visual as to where is the money coming in, where's the money going out, and then where are areas within my business that I need to make some hard, tough decisions. In this particular business here, they're having a difficult time as far as on a cash flow end. So what we're really going to do is to try to nail down looking at debt. We're going to look at we're going to look at employees. We're going to look at other types of cost and really make a determination from that particular tool on where are some areas that there's a potential here to reduce our cost and still operate efficiently. And so you better have your records together. You better have a good understanding of the day-to-day finances inside of your business, because tumultuous times are going to come. There's going to be seasons of abundance. There's going to be seasons where things may be a little bit more difficult for you. Every business goes through it. But once you kind of go through those areas, you kind of have an understanding. These are some levers that I need to pull. I need to spend more money here in order to be able to get more money back. I'm going to have to cut some cost in this particular area to survive for a time. And to have a really good understanding of what decisions need to be made in order to keep your business sustainable, and then to the point eventually, if it's your desire to do so, to that business of being able to scale and eventually where you either reach the legacy or succession stage. Hopefully this particular podcast brought you some value. My name is Josh Belk. This is the Belk on Business podcast. Thank you for taking a moment to listen today.